Now that the season has developed to a certain extent, what would you say was Marc Bergevin's best moves during the offseason?
I would say getting Max Domi. That I think that was one that I was skeptical about, and he's come in and not only has he been, scoring all kinds of goals, but just the way that he's really embraced the city of Montreal. He reminds me a lot of Brendan Gallagher, the way that they understand what it's like. They go out there, they try and do as much as they can for the community, and he just seems like he's enjoying his time here. So I would say that he's definitely a bonus on the ice, but off the ice, in the locker room and the community, I think that's a great move.
Go ahead.
I think the Pacioretty trade, when Bergevin made the trade, he said the key to the deal was Nick Suzuki. Well, we haven't even really seen Nick Suzuki. He played for Team Canada at the World Juniors. He was okay. He wasn't great. Thomas Tatar has been fantastic. Plus, there's a second-round pick they got in that deal. And I think, when you mentioned Domi, I think Bergevin made a lot of good offseason moves, and I think one of the keys is the guys he got all want to be here.
Yeah.
They all want to play in Montreal. Max Domi loves playing here. Thomas Tatar told me he loves going around all Montreal. He'd been here as a visiting team, but never really got a chance to explore the city. He loves the city, so I think that's a key, that he's brought in guys who want to be here, and I think it shows with their play. But to me, that Pacioretty deal he got, after painting himself into a corner and wondering what he was going to get, he got a heck of a return.
Yeah, he got an awesome deal for Pacioretty, no question. 3 pieces. We haven't seen Suzuki yet, but Tatar's certainly done more than a lot of people thought. But I'm going to have to go with Domi. One, if you look at what everybody said when Galchenyuk was traded for Domi, everybody, oh my God, what a bad deal. He had 9 goals, 5 open netters, Everybody was teeing off on that deal. And then Domi comes in and does what he does, embraces the city, starts scoring some goals, helps Jonathan Drouin, and he fulfills the biggest need they had on this team, a first-line center. So I'd have to say that was the biggest deal for Marc Bergevin, the most important one in the offseason.
The other thing I think the Pacioretty deal, though, did it allowed Weber to become captain, and I think that had a big impact on this team because, as Chris, Pacioretty was sort of thin-skinned and let things bother him, the fans, the media. Shea Weber couldn't care less what I write or we say or anybody. He's confident. He does his job. He does his thing, and
points
lets nothing else bother. I think that trickles down through the room when you have a guy like that lets nothing bother him, especially in this market.
Yeah, and for sure, attitude change. And back to Chris's point about Domi, an intangible of swapping Galchenyuk for Domi is different attitude.
Yeah, that's huge. But when you look at the guys they have, they're go-getters, and Domi, Gallagher, Tatar's that way. Lekkonen's that way. They're quiet. They got a lot of go-getters on this team.
I say there's a long list.
Yeah, and they lead, and they lead by example. They're not guys that mope around, and that's an awesome. It's awesome to see how this team has changed.
And even when Domi went through that long goal-scoring drought, he never stopped working.
Yeah,
he never stopped working.
It's a team full of worker bees. I love it. Go to hockeyinsideout.com now and check out this week's full episode.